we are back here on Lines on Design. Once again, I'm Debbie Lines. I am here with Dave Miller today from Superior Heating and Air Conditioning.
Hello.
We've been having a ball. We've got mutual clients, which we've been kind of chatting about, which is always really great.
Yep.
And I am so excited to have you here today. Last time I talked to you, you were sharing with me some do's and don'ts about HVAC, and it's amazing. I consider myself as a designer fairly knowledgeable when it comes to things like this, but I know just enough to be dangerous.
Right.
And I figure there are a lot of consumers who are in the same boat I am. So thank you for doing this. Talk to us a little bit about some things that we may do for regular maintenance and maybe some things not so much we shouldn't do.
Sure. Well, basically standing next to us over here is your typical indoor unit for our environment.
Okay.
This one, they can come upflow like you see here. They can come horizontal in your attic, just depending on how you install it.
Oh, they can go horizontal or vertically.
Yeah,
okay.
That way for space reasons or whatever it may be. In this case, we wanted to save some space to store some junk, so we made it an upflow.
Well, what's interesting to me is I noticed that it's got a great case. Am I allowed to say that?
Absolutely. This is an American Standard air handler, which is one and the same with Train. They're the industry exclusive, what I would consider a carbon air handler or composite. But basically, it's just really durable plastic. But the benefits to it is that it doesn't sweat and there's nothing to rust. You look at an air handler these days in an attic, and even after sometimes a month in the cooling season, they look like they're 10 years old. Water obviously creates rust.
Makes sense.
There's only like one or two components, even on the inside of this, that's metal. Everything is composite, so it's just it's going to help with better airflow, keep it from sweating, and keep it from lasting longer. And the other beautiful thing about it, which it'd be too complicated to pull off for this right now, but normally you'll see an insulation inside the air handler to keep it from sweating.
Got it.
And it's like a foiled back, kind of like what you'd see here, if you can see any of that. But that insulation, when it gets wet, gets ruined, and plus it can hold bacteria and stuff. Think of this as a refrigerator.
Okay.
The insulation is inside the shell, and it's like a foam, like a spray foam insulated, just like your refrigerator. You don't see any insulation in it, but it's insulated. Same thing here. So the inside surfaces are just like the exterior. You can wipe them down. If they ever did get dirty, you would wipe them down to clean them off. And they don't hold anything like the other brands do. And that's their one industry exclusive design that's just light years ahead of the industry.
Which is pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question. You're talking about having, really knowing your AC unit. How often do you recommend people have you come out to kind of check for service proactively? Proactively,
you know, twice a year or every 6 months. You know, a lot of people like to have it spring and fall, but if every single customer in Hilton Head, not just ours, every contractor other tried to do them spring and fall, there would just not be enough time in the day to do them all in spring and fall. So as long as every 6 months they're checked, we just want to make sure they're operating correctly, filters are clean. You know, sometimes you don't know something's not working until you get a high electric bill or something. So sometimes we can get to that ahead of time. You know.
Now, talk to us again. Kind of take us through what we're looking at.
All right. So, yes, this can be, and yes, it doesn't need to be a do-it-yourselfer's project.
Okay.
There's a lot of things you can do, but you just got to be careful on what you do. So, for instance, in this case, air conditioners by design remove humidity. They remove humidity by taking the water that they get out of the air that's traveling through here out the drain line out of the house. Now, here's an interesting fact. 10 gallons of water a day, typically, coming out of one system in a house.
Oh my God.
Now, if we wanted to plug high efficiency equipment, which this is, which would be a variable speed air handler.
Okay, variable speed.
They'll double that amount of water. So that's like taking 20 gallons of water and just throwing it into your living room, you know, in the summertime. So they remove a lot of water.
Okay.
And that's in the summer, and that's, you know, per day. So a lot of water's moving through this drain line.
I never even think about that, to be honest with you, right?
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah. So
that's why we're here,
that's
right?
That's right. And so it's coming out of this drain. By code, you need to have a trap here, which keeps smells from backing up into the system through the drain line and things like that.
Okay, makes sense.
However, by design, it can clog. And that's the whole scenario that you hear the nightmares about from all of your friends and family. Oh, I had an air conditioner, some water going through my ceiling. In our environment, they're usually installed in attics. Some homeowners and contractors are proactive enough to install them in the actual space in a closet, which is nice. Then you'll have this issue. This is an attic. Even in our install, it's an attic. So if something happens here, you have safeties.
Okay, which are?
Which, like right here, we have a safety switch. So if this backs up, the system will shut down. However, safety switches are, you know, they can break.
Right.
Safety switches can, also, water can make it past the safety switch.
Stuff happens.
Stuff happens. So then you have another drain pan, which you probably can't see below us, but there's another drain pan below us.
Yeah, I can see that. That's cool.
And it also has another safety switch in it, so that water gets in there and it'll shut the system off as well.
Oh, okay.
So that's the whole idea. Shut the system off. As the homeowner, you're thinking, my AC doesn't work. We get here, all right, well, it's not because it's broke, it's because you have a clogged drain line.
Is that pretty common?
It is super common. I mean,
Okay.
it's probably, you know, in the summer, 50 to 60% of the calls. Even a maintained system can still have drains that clog. Customers can service the drains, but once again, we're in an attic.
Don't
Can they
do
get
that,
to it?
right.
You know? And then we have these safeties that are set up so that a lot of service calls we get are Christmas time. Customers are moving furniture in and out of their attics. And so they'll bump the safety switches, and now the system thinks it's got a water problem, and it doesn't. So the same thing, if we tell customers, you know, hey, let's go ahead and tell you how to service your drain line, and then sometimes they inadvertently end up with a service call just because they were trying to be helpful. So if you know what you're doing and you feel skilled enough that you're not causing more harm than good,
Right.
you can clean the drain. You know, usually if they're serviceable, there's
Don't
tops
clean
that
your
pop
drain.
off.
Right. Oh, see,
you know.
that scares me, yeah.
And you can usually use a shop vac or something and suck out the junk that's in here, because that will clog up. But that's what we do when we service them. We've had drain lines that clog up even a couple months after we've been there, and it was done correctly. And you know,
What do they clog up with? Is it just the water has so
you
many?
don't want to know what they clog. No, it's gross. It's like a slime and algae, and
Sweet.
you know, it's gross. You know, if you think about a puddle outside, you know, basically all the stuff that grows in there. You know, it's basically once a little bit of stuff gets in there, things start to grow, things like that, and then basically, if we've cut these apart and looked at a cross section in there, and they've just been a thick, just, you know, because they dry up sometimes, and then you can't even break them free.
Then it's crunchy.
Right. You got it. So drains are pretty important. You know, and in this case, we have a serviceable filter. Some homeowners will have filters that are in a grill in their house that they can pull down and get out, and other times they'll have a filter that's at the unit, like we have here.
Oh.
And you know, in this case, this also depending on brand.
Okay.
Some units have like where you need like a screwdriver to get the doors off. In this case, the American Standard and the Train brands, they just have little thumb screws where you just spin them,
Oh.
and they come off.
Here, I can hold for you.
Sure.
Yeah. I'm a good Vanna.
And basically, once these are out, there'll be a safety switch of another type built into this door.
Okay.
And the air handler will go from operating to not operating to keep you
oh,
safe.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, now you can see also composite.
Oh yeah,
know,
look
no
at that.
metal.
Yeah.
And then your filter's in here. Now,
How often do I need to come up and do this?
it depends house to house.
Uh-huh.
And let me see if it's dirty first. All right, we get an A. All right, so that was nerve-wracking for a minute. But yeah, you know, 30, 60, 90 days at most. It just depends on how often your house is, you know, the traffic in your house, pets, dogs, having windows and doors open, time of year. You know, but generally speaking, every 30 days if you can do it.
What do you like about this filter? Why this filter?
All right, so this is what we would consider an in-between filter. So it's not a junky filter that basically what we talked about in the last episode catches rocks.
Right.
But it's pleated, and it's not the super expensive pleated ones that realistically can clog airflow. So you can actually hinder a system with the wrong style filter in there. A really, really, really good filter that just filters everything is kind of like putting a dirty filter in there, because it's just clogging so much airflow.
See, that's amazing.
So you either have to have your equipment and ductwork sized for that and know you're going to do it. But if you're a homeowner and you just went there and bought the $50 filter from, you know, the grocery store or Home Depot and throw it in there, you know, you could end up slowing airflow down and causing other issues.
You know what's really interesting? I know that we've got to wrap it up, and I think what we've learned in this segment is we would like you to continue to come back, because I think these are things that are takeaways and practical for all of our homeowners. And you're really easy, you make it user-friendly, and we're very grateful.
Absolutely.
We want to thank you, Dave.
Thank
we want
you.
to thank all of you for joining us here on Lines on Design. Have a wonderful week. Bye-bye.